What is up, guys? It's been a while since I've recorded. I've just been pretty busy, so I wanted to talk about or show what I've been playing around with so far. This is more of a pet deck idea and some inspiration from uh, like the branded Rolad variant. And I've been playing Rolad. I played the branded variant, and I also played the Azamina variant, which the Azamina variant is pretty cool. It's pretty combo centric, very sequency heavy. I love how you can just kill people with it. It's pretty cool to resolve Slean access code in our year. Um, and it all just bridges all of it into each other extremely well. Pretty happy with it. I played the branded version. I played a version with the bridge, which you see here, and then I played a version without the bridge just to see how it feels, just to get that have the extra deck slot. It's good too. I just felt like something that was missing with that variant in particular was your Albaz would just become Crimson King, and the Crimson King doesn't. It gets you the Rollout engine, but doesn't completely convert. It's just a body that just sticks there unless you run something in the extra deck for it. So I came up with this version just based off player preference, and I love Swordsoul, and I was looking at other eights to use, and I did take this to locals, and I did fairly well. We are 3 round locals. I went 2-1 the entire day. My only loss was um, legitimately getting Hyper Aeon invoked twice. So that says something. That was the only way I was able to lose. Um, so my first matchup was Crystal Beast. I went first, and he just couldn't break the board. It sets up a pretty cool board. Game two, he messed up his combo, and game two he messed up his combo, but I was still able to die because I just kind of bricked also. And then game three, again, set up the whole board, went uninterrupted, and was able to win off of that. And then the next round, what was it? Oh, it was Cool Tune. It was a going second-ish Cool Tune build with Nitriga Bamboo Shoot. Yeah, game one, scooped it up, just couldn't break the board. Just a lot of stuff going on with your end board. And then game two, yeah, he bamboo shoot locked me, and I just couldn't do anything. And then game three, got into a grind. He kept hand trapping me, but Cool Tune is really interesting in the fact that once they run out of hand traps in their hand, unless they get a starter, they're going to lose that game because going 1 for 1, if you're once my card your cards kind of trade 2 for 1 in some scenarios, and them trading 1 for 1 in there is going more over time. So I was able to just beat them down with a Quem and a Phadralis, which was definitely enough. All right, so let's go over the deck. Then talk about some changes I was considering making. So for the Rolad stuff, or 3 Black Chaos, 3 Griffo, 1 Archfiend Chaos, 1 of the spell, and then 1 of each ritual, and 2 of the trap. Okay, and then 2 Ragged Record Rights for the Rolad engine. So, um, can very consistently, what would get cited out was the Ragged Record of Rights and a Black Chaos. Every single time got cited out. I didn't resolve Ragged Record of Rights as much. I just wanted it just because it's a starter, but I'm also part of me is also I don't need it because you're gonna bridge into it most of the time, and then you're playing Swordsoul branded at that point where that end board is also fairly good too. 1 Archfiend Chaos and 1 Ritual. I was running 2, but I found I kept drawing it too much, and I'd much rather try to bridge into it. If I do open it, it's not the end of the world, but I do not want to draw this most of the time. I just want to try to bridge into it if I can. And then obviously 1 Ritual Spell, because in this version, it's a dead draw. Actually just a dead draw. Unless you have open rituals or anything like that. And then 2 Mind Shuffle. So I was trying to play 1 the entire time. But through testing this online, there were so many instances where I completely got hosed because Mind Shuffle was in hand. Now it's weird because like this is where Ragged can search. Send this can like you can get Mind Shuffle into the graveyard, and then you can Black Chaos summon it. Black Chaos put it back. Um, but I just felt more comfortable having a second Mind Shuffle in deck, knowing that because if I have Griffo, it's going to resolve. Um, so yeah. All right. So then for the branded cards, obviously two Fall in the White, one Fallen of Albaz, actual Albaz, one Cartesia, um, one Quem, two Ecclesia, Kit, and three branded High Spirits, and then two FNVs. That's like the branded cards, quote unquote. Yep, Albaz is a really good one card combo. Um, it also, if you pair it with a Swordsoul, you can actually push through a lot of interruptions too. And then now we're gonna go over the Swordsoul cards, which is just two Taya, one Moyi, three Emergence, one Blackout. Um, so why did I play this version? And then let's actually for before I go over that, the last like seven non-engine quote unquote, three Fuwa, three Harmonia, and then a Bestial Magnemite. Just Magma can get you starter or can get you a Harmonia, which is disruption. So with the Sword Soul cards, two Ecclesia because I love three. However, in this build or in general, three is just not needed. It too many normal summons in my opinion, and you just really don't need three like at all. You know, I know in like a Sword Soul build you're supposed to be like maxing on this, but in this one, and even like if I were to play it without Rolad cards, I didn't really max out on it either. So yeah, Golden Sword Soul is also a target for your Emergence. So you have for your Moyi, um, seven targets to reveal. So it can be live, and the reason why I was cutting the one Moyi, but there were a lot of instances where like if you open Taya if you open Taya or Moyi, and you have Albaz, um, having the ability to create like an extra way to one card essentially synchro 8 another time comes up a lot. And when you're breaking boards, going Baxia into use Taya, summon Baxia, target spin two cards back, and then dump Moyi, then Baxia revive Moyi. If you already have a target in hand, or vice versa, can be like goes incredibly stupid. All right. And yeah, Golden Sword Soul being searchable is really good too. There's times where you have a non-tuner on board, you just attack, negate the attack, summon Sword Soul in your hand, then you synchro A into that way. And then the kit's a weird one. So the kit is there because this deck has more of an issue getting back non-tuners. Non-tuners like bodies is like what this deck kind of struggles getting, and the kit helps with that. It can be a brick, but I think throughout the tournament and testing, it was well worth running because even if you open it in hand, if you have just a way you can pitch it off of Mind Shuffle, and then you can start bringing back your other bodies and building that sort of redundant board. All right, so that's the deck for the main deck, and then the extra deck for the fusions: Albion, Granganol, one Mirror Jade, one Mixutia, one Rinnerum, one Dogma. That's it for the fusions. And then for the synchros, one Baxia, one Chaos Angel, one Luwa Lilith, one Draco Berserker, Ecclesia, Meilong, Grandmaster Shishao, Crimson King, and three champions. And the Crimson King, we are playing the Crimson Call instead. So for the fusion lineup, I wasn't trying to go super heavy into fusions, but these are throughout the day. I've used all of them except for maybe Dogma, but Dogma is if you can't get your Mirror Jade back, because you can get it back using Skull Archfiend of Chaos, If you can't get it back, then this is like your next like Fallen of Albaz target to fuse for, or Mixusha. So yeah, Mixusha is interesting. There are hands where you can't quite um, get to Crimson King, but Mixusha lets you make a Mirror Jade on your turn, which is really good. So yeah, it's another way if you already have everything, you already have a Worm Engrave or a Swordsoul Engrave to banish for Taya, then you can make Mixusha if you want to. And you can make that easily with searching it off of the 3 Brave Sword Souls and adding Cartesia and then fusing something else away to make Mixusha. So yeah. And it can also make Dragon that Devours Dogma if you want to, so you can recycle back your Mirror Jades and everything. Um, so yeah. Then for the side deck, 3 Ash. This is literally just for going first. Ashing a Charmy is so incredibly strong. Um, and if you get Fuwood, you can probably give them 2 draws, and then you just go fully into the Rolad engine if you have to. 2 Droll, you gotta have it, and next format it's gonna be very important, or next set it's gonna be extremely important with the Toon deck. 3 Perulia, a lot of decks get hit by Perulia. This is like sort of a mid-range deck sometimes, so like you just want more draws. And then because people are playing spell canceller piles or pile decks, especially in my area where it's build-a-board, Spear mode goes crazy. Um, so yeah. And I also did side this against the Cool Toon player, because Cool Toon can go very wide, but it was a psychological thing of if they end on one thing and if they don't have hand traps, I'm completely killing them that next turn, and them seeing that in their hand is going to scare the shit out of them. 1 callback for going first, and then 3 evenly matched because it cleans up. It's very cleanly cleans up the entire boards. Um, there was a striker player that didn't show up, and that was also for him just in case. But I think in the striker matchup, I'm pretty comfortable because once you get a branded grind game going against that deck, it's pretty good. So, yes. So another like kind of thing why I decided to make this deck is against the Rolad deck, you need targeting, and things that target are like Chi Shao and Blackout. And also the 3 champions of Swordsoul. Uh, going Baxia effect to spin uh, like their back row. It forces them. They have to use the Mind Shuffle effect to summon something, or they're gonna completely lose this, right? So you're like forcing effects. If they summon BLS, honestly, couldn't care less. We have other targeting ways of dealing with it, which is like 3 Brave. So when you're breaking your board against Rolad, you go 3 Brave, or if you haven't locked yourself yet, you can make Chaos Angel. And then going second, you can also try to get Ecclesia into the graveyard using FNV or FNV, so then you can spin it back that way. So we have multiple ways of getting rid of it. And we also have Meilong to, on our turn, we can do it that way too. So we have multiple tools to like take care of the real life matchup. The Brandon matchup is going to be pretty hard just because it's Super Poly, and I'm going to say by extension any Super Poly deck. The Invoke deck he was able to Super Poly my stuff into Mixusha, which I can't really do much about, to be honest. That's it. So like extra deck ripping me was the only way I was able to lose that game, and what can you do, right? That card is insane. And the cool thing is if you already open Griffo, you can just completely ignore the Crimson King line and just make a normal branded end board. So like my target end board some of the time like was like a combination of like Rolad engine with Ecclesia, and if I had the extra 8 extension, or I can pivot and get Chi Shao to add Blackout. So it was like Ecclesia, Rolad engine, and then blackout, and that was like pretty solid. Um, how often I went into Chisha? I went into it pretty often. The only you don't have to go into like Draco Berserker or Crimson King. Draco Berserker is what got made. If I was going super uninterrupted, then Draco Berserker showed up on the field, which honestly it never touched the field once, but I felt like I needed it as a way to deal with attacking over monsters, and banishing monsters is really good on it. Um, but yeah, this extra deck is like optimal I can make it in terms of like how I play it. You can make Lu while Lilith extremely easily actually in this deck. It's just an 8 plus a 4. You'll find that you'll have 8s sitting on the field, and then you can make the 4 with any of the ways you can generate tuners. There was an instance in testing where I synchroed off the Ecclesia and a 4 to make Despian Lu Walla to use the Ecclesia effect to shuffle something back. Then you can recycle your other resources this way too, which is nice. So can this deck compete? I 100% think it can compete. Um, it just at the end of the day, like it's gonna lose to some of the same stuff Branded does, but having an extra way to make synchro 8s, because you can do it, and you can make there are ways you can make 2 synchro 8s in this deck with normal Branded. But the cherry on top is like being able to end on Ecclesia plus Grandmaster Chi Shao and the Rolad stuff, which is really good. And something else to note: 3 Champions of Swordsoul is a Swordsoul card, so it's literally not the end of the world when you have this face up on your field, just because it's another blackout target at the end of the day. This normally gets fused off most of the time, so like it being a blackout target matters, so you don't have to burn your Chi Shao first and then use your blackout. Chi Shao being a target negate comes up so much. You can Rolad is pretty prevalent, so you can literally just take care of their monsters that way. But yeah, this is like, aside, if you want to make it 40, you can cut a Black Chaos and the Ragged Record Rights or a Mind Shuffle, make it a clean 40. However, I think going to 43 helped a lot, you know. So yeah, that is like the deck. I don't really have much else to talk about. If you've like Branded Swordsoul, like there are like it's literally kind of like the same lines, except in one of them if you want to bridge into Rolad, you have the Crimson King into Crimson Call. Oh yeah. Side note, another thing, Crimson Call did get sided out. If I felt like if I was going second, Crimson Call got sided out because I'm just banking on that my my 9 breakers would just do much better than Crimson Call. You could run the other one, which is it Soul Resonator? The structure deck one? This one, right? So this one, you can run it. However, my issue with it is because one of the things with Swordsoul is when you play Swordsoul, you want to hold your normal summon as long as you can, if you can, right? And the Soul Resonator, I didn't like getting extra deck locked for Dark Synchro monsters. Obviously, we do have some like Draco Berserker and like Chaos Angel, but like you just lock off like 90% of your extra deck anyways. And Crimson Call can be added back with Demod if you want to keep Light and Darkness engraved, because sometimes you want that engraved so your Black Chaos becomes protected the entire time. So yeah. Let's see what else. But yeah, it's honestly like the combos are not super hard to understand. It's just Albaz, Albaz dump Mirror Jade, summon Ecclesia, dump Taya, Taya, banish, mirror, jade, make token. Token synchros off with Albaz. Albaz and token, make Ecclesia, and then Ecclesia summons Quem. Quem dumps the um, Kit. Kit summons back Ecclesia. Uh, Taya plus Ecclesia. This is where you kind of pivot. Um, Tied with Ecclesia, you can summon the Crimson King to get into the Rolad engine, and then once Tied is synchroned off, you banish or you dump Golden Swordsoul, or you can make Chi Shao and to add Blackout if you already have Rolad. Um, if you already open like Taya Moyi, then you can have you. That's when you can get both on the field and everything set up, which honestly becomes super unbreakable, like really hard to deal with. Um, so yeah, that is, and then the Archfiend is literally Chaos Angel plus like any of plus Ecclesia, Golden Sword Soul, um, your tokens, Cartesia, KT without like without droplets or dark rulers or imperms cannot out a light and dark chaos angel. Um, so yeah, you guys want like and other thing too, right? When you're comboing, Quem is an end board piece and it's also a tuner for you to make more eights, because um, this honestly didn't even get summoned too much, but a lot of it was Ecclesia sends the Quem, and if your graveyard is loaded with the Golden Sword Soul, then you can summon back the Quem, or Quem can just summon back the or I'm sorry, Ecclesia can just summon back the Quem from the grave if you like really, really, um, if you really need to. So yeah, there's a lot of ways you can move the board around and play it. But yeah, that's literally it with the deck profile. This is like a skeleton of like kind of what I've been having some success with. Definitely can make it 40 cards. You can cut the Moyi, a Mind Shuffle, um, and a Black Chaos, and a Ragged, or you can just cut Ragged, a Black Chaos, Mind Shuffle, and then you can slot in 2 more extra deck slots, or play something else. But Moyi, like I like having the extra 8. Again, classic Boxia with Taya, spin back 2, summon Moyi. Moyi can get back into any of your 8s. So, um, yeah, that's pretty much it. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you have any questions, put us in the comments. This is definitely like a brewing kind of new thing. But yeah, see you guys later.